All right. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Serious Angler podcast, powered by our friends over at X2 Power Batteries. I am solo tonight. We are captainless. No Andy for this episode, but we have a fun episode coming up nonetheless. Andy is out of town, and if you hear some raspiness in my voice, I'm still a little sick right now, but it's been a heck of a week here at the Eichber household. We have my fiance is one of her best friends is getting married this weekend. There is currently like a rehearsal dinner going on right now that I was supposed to be at. But because I'm sick, I'm not going to be that guy to go and spoil a whole wedding, getting everybody sick. So what better than to sit at home, get my internet fixed, and talk to my old pal, Mr. Jeff Queen, about something real exciting that you guys might have been seeing some rumblings about through the grapevine, especially for my cast. Seen a lot of it on our buddy, Mr. J. Kumar's Bass Blaster going out. It's been some really good vibes coming out for Master Cup fishing. So really excited to break that down with Jeff here today. Maybe have some sneak peeks for you guys, some releases here to get you guys excited. I know I'm really excited anytime there's something new professional fishing wise. We are obviously always pumped here at the Serious Angler HQ. But a little bit of news for you folks. The premium, if you guys have premium account over Omnia Fishing, that is still going on with the site-wide sale. So if you guys want to save even more money, head over there, get yourself some tackle. I know I am constantly there's many people like my father who has Amazon boxes. Actually, my fiance does the same thing. Amazon boxes are showing up every single day. I don't even want to ask where these things are coming from. For me, it's Omnia boxes, where it's just more and more tackle that I don't need, and it just shows up, and it's obviously a problem. But the nice part is you can save a lot of money doing so. So it's not as bad as seeing all the boxes come up as it does in the checkbook. But that's all the news I have for you guys today because we have an exciting episode. I don't want to waste any time getting into it. So without further ado, Mr. Jeff Queen, what's going on, sir?
Hey, Bailey. Good to see you.
You as well, man. It's been a minute. I know we've seen each other at shows and such, but it hasn't been like we haven't had you on the show in a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while. But I been busy, been really busy working on this new league, and really excited that you allowed me to come on here today, share some of the new things that we've got going on with the league, and it's really exciting.
Jeff, I have to say, every time I talk to you, it is an inspiration because I hear about your weeks and your workload going on. And I'm sitting here thinking, I got my full time, I got the podcast, I got the YouTube, I got a wedding in October. And I'm sitting there some days like, man, I don't know how I have time for any of this crap. I feel overwhelmed. And I talk to you and I'm like, damn, I got to stop complaining. Cause like you can tackle that. I mean, I need to shut up because I can take on more.
It's been pretty busy for the past year. Not enough fishing and way too much working. So hopefully we can change some of that. But I think between now and November, it's going to be an all-out sprint to make, to really bring something special to our fishing fans and to our non-typical fishing fans. And I think that what we've come up with here, the format, all the things that we've got going on, is going to be really, really great for the sport.
Yeah, and so before we dive into all of that, you mentioned the fishing part. So I can't imagine you've been able to raise some hell on Lake Norman recently, eh?
Well, me and KJ may sneak down there occasionally and try to, win some of these little small tournaments. But the problem with sneaking down there is when you show up, you've got, over there sits Shane LaHue and Shane Lineberger and Hank Cherry. And you're going, this isn't easy pickings. It's a bunch of pros. And then you look around and you got all the local hammers that fish every day. And it's like, it's going to be a shootout again tonight. And so it's a lot of fun.
Basically a pro-am is what you're saying.
It is. And what's funny is it isn't always the pros getting a check. It's those local boys are hammers. I mean, they fish every day. They are truly some hammers around here.
It seems like one of the only states, or at least regions, that doesn't have the trails where it's like, if you're a pro, you're not allowed to fish this. We hear about those happening, and seems like, at least in New York, we don't have that, where I think guys are more excited in the morning. We're like, oh, dude, look at that. It's a rat boat. It's, Jamie Hartman coming back to fish a local stuff. Like it seems like for you guys, you welcome it.
Well, it's some of them. We still have some that, of course, don't let the pros in. The problem is that, half the people that fish the tournament trail here is some type of pro, right? And so MLF or National Professional League or BASS. And so if you try to run some type of little trail around here and say, oh, we're not going to let a pro in, then, 25, 30 people show up, and it's if they win, I don't think they feel as good as they do when they beat the pros. So
yeah, if you're gonna compete,
I've never been a pro, so when I show up, I feel good when I can take if I'm taking Hank's money or Shane's money or one of these many other pros that come down. Sometimes we'll have Matt Airy sneak down, or Todd Alton, or Jake Whitaker. It feels pretty good when you take one of those guys, and I ain't never took them to the woodshed, but have taken their money a time or two.
Anybody's money you get to take home is good money.
It's good money. It's tough money to get around here. It's tight, tough to get it.
Yeah, I mean, that Carolina, that region you guys are in is so stacked. I feel like with the pro lineup, it's such a hotbed, and especially when we're going to talk about this Master Cup fishing format, I feel like I'm not going to try to release anything out of here that we haven't talked about yet. But if there's a team coming from around where you're at, I don't want to compete against them.
Yeah, so we got a division here that's fishing between Georgia, North Carolina, and South Carolina, and holy smokes, it's every team is loaded. It's absolutely gonna be fun to watch because they are all three of the owners went out and got people, and when you look at that, you go, well, there's no way anybody can beat that team, and then you see the other team go, oh, okay, well, there's no way anybody can beat that team, and then you see the third team and go, oh my God, it's a shootout. It's going to happen. So it's going to be a lot of fun, really.
Well, let's start here. Let's start with the premise of Master Cup fishing. Like, break down the format, kind of what really started this whole thing, and then we'll go from there.
Yes, I've actually been working on this for over 3 years now. It's a concept that we come up with. A couple of us guys were sitting around talking about all the issues within the industry, and not that what we have today is bad, but it's just how do you grow? How do you grow beyond what we're doing today, and how do you make it really for the anglers to be treated like professional athletes, and meaning that even like golf guys are making $1 million, and so you look, and my son went through the opens, comes out, he's going to the elites. There's not a ton of people knocking on your door offering you big paychecks, right? To be sponsored. It's not that way. This industry is very, very tough. It's a tough industry, whether you're endemic or non-endemic, because non-endemics don't come in because it's not set up to be fan friendly, TV friendly. So if you're not a fanatic, you're not part of this sport. And so that's what we did. We looked at that and we said, okay, let's make something that's fun for the fishing fanatics, but let's also make something that's really fun for the average everyday fisherman. There's 52 million of us in the United States that love to fish. And yet, it's most participated sport across the entire United States. And yet our professional guys, the guys that's at the top of this sport, it's a tough game for them, really is. So my personal motivation behind this is truly to figure out a way to really help these anglers. To do that, you got to really create some bigger revenue streams than what we have today. You got to change some paradigms, some ways that we think today. And I think that's where we started from. That was the premise that we said, hey, if we're going to transform this, how would we do it? And so we sat down with the blank sheet of paper, and we have tweaked it and morphed it and tweaked it. And, you were a part of this, right? I've talked to you over the last 2 years and said, hey, what's your opinion of this or that? And,
right.
I bet you I've talked to no less than 500 people across the industry to get like feedback on ways to make it better and more interesting, and not just people that are fanatics, right? Like I wanted half the people that told me stuff to be non-fanatics. It's like, okay, what would you do different when I talk to my fiance? How would you do this different? Or you talk to my mom, and my mom likes fishing, but she's not a fanatic, right? What do you want to see? What do you want to see different? You go out and you talk to just everyday people on the street. What would make this fun? What would make you want to engage in this? And that's where we started from, right? To bring those eyeballs in. You bring the eyeballs in, you bring the revenue streams in, the anglers are well taken care of. And so that was our premise.
And so from there, I'm actually really curious about the majority of the consensus of people that weren't fanatics. Like what was your more widespread answer?
Yeah. So nobody sees this on television, right? And when you do watch it on television, right, it's Bass has put it on Fox, and you tune in on Saturday. And I had people say, man, I was watching it. I got up, I went to the bathroom, come back, the race is on. I don't even know who won. And I'm like, well, nobody's won yet. And they're like, what do you mean nobody's won yet? It's like, I just watched 3 hours of fishing and nobody won. It's like, no, that's just Saturday. They still haven't fished tomorrow yet. And so it really starts with, hey, I got to make this a 3-hour game, right? Like, how do you break that paradigm of a multi-day, 8-hour, 9-hour, 10-hour days? How do you break that paradigm? How do you get it down to the length of a baseball game, the length of a football or a hockey game? It can't be longer than 3 hours. And so if you break it down to 3 hours, and you just have, how many people are you going to be able to fish? How many people can you see? How do you create this loyalty behind the fans? And so you say, okay, I want to create a fan base. And so you have to have a team to do this, and you have to be able to frequently score. And in 3 hours, there may be somebody that completely strikes out. But as a team, working together as a team, man, all of a sudden you can see where it's momentum shifts, and you got scoring, and people are interested. The scoreboard's moving. Nobody wants to sit and watch a scoreboard that doesn't move for 2 hours, right? They want to see the scoreboard move. It's also binary. It's win-loss, right? It's two teams, head-to-head, 5 guys on one team, 5 guys on another team. We've brought these guys together from all the platforms. You know, we've got it from a few local level guys, but the vast majority of our guys, over 90% of our guys, are either tour guys from MLF, or they're elite guys from Bassmaster. And so, when you put all those guys together, maybe one local guy, 2 guys from Bassmaster, two guys from MLF, and they come together as a team, man, that's exciting. You know, that's unity in our sport. They represent their lake or their state, right? We got a really great team that's representing the state of South Carolina, a really great team that's going to represent Charlotte and the state of North Carolina, really great Georgia team that's going to be representing them. And I think that's fun. I think that people will get behind that, right? They'll get behind their anglers, but they'll get behind their team as well. And so I think that's going to be a new way that we create excitement in the sport.
So how does it come to when it comes to like these games? How does scoring work? How does is each angler given 5 fish? Like how does a team win?
Yeah, so great question. So our periods are divided up into 50-minute periods. So you can imagine, similar to like an MLF, there'll be an automatic start on the water, lines in, go. So I've got 5 anglers on each team. Each one are in their own boat. Each angler's score is individual from a score. It's no different than like a basketball guy when he shoots and he scores. He scores individually, but he's also scoring for the team. And so each person has the opportunity to weigh as many fish as he can, but only his 3 biggest fish per period are counted toward the score. A score is going to be to the nearest, it's to the 10th of a pound. And if it's over a 10th, it goes to the lowest 10th. So in other words, if you catch one, it's like 3.11. That fish counts as 3.1 pounds. Mm-hmm. And then that would actually be 31 points for your team. So it's pounds and tenths of ounces that count toward the points toward your team. And so if I catch a 3.5 and then another 3.5 and then another 3.5, I've got I shouldn't have made the math so hard, but I've basically got 10.5 pounds. Yeah. But I just put up 105 points for my team.
Right.
And then it's the cumulative of all 5 anglers. So that scoreboard, every time an angler puts one up there, that scoreboard's shooting up. Put a 2-pounder up, it went up 20 points. Put the 3-pounder up, it went up 30 points. What's really cool about that is, you got both sides of scoring, right? Which I think is really going to go. And they've really got to come up with a cool strategy here. They've got to work as a team, because if one guy's not catching them and somebody else is, that's not good. So they've got a coach. That coach is helping organize the conversation between these guys. It's going to be really a way to really maximize out the fish, or to maximize their ability to catch fish. Now, one little twist that we have in there, one little interesting rule is you can't share a spot with another angler. If you fish that spot during the period, no other angler on your team can fish that same spot during the period, whether you catch a fish there or not. So if I fish, I'm in Pickwick and I got a certain pier in Bear Creek, I go and fish that dock. That dock is off limits until the next period for any other angler.
Wow.
And so, yeah, so that makes it interesting, right? You can't, you may think you found the winning school of fish. You go, you get to catch 3 of them the first period. Nobody else gets to come fish that school. And you got to hope that they're still there for the second period. And you and I both know those fish are more likely going to disperse, leave. You got to really go, you got to be able to really adjust in this game. It's going to be high pressure. Critical thinking is really going to play a big part here. So it's not just physical ability, the ability to find fish, but it's also a lot around critical thinking. How do you make the right move? How do we as a team communicate that, hey, this is the lure I'm catching them on, this is the type of structure, but then that person also has to find his own place. It's not coming and fishing my same hole. We can't all pile on the same spot. So that makes it, I think, really interesting. It keeps the game, just one guy can't win this, right? It's going to have to be all 5 guys contributing across 3 periods. I mean, you can't slack up for 1 period. So it's going to be, I think it's an intense 3-hour game. And at the end of 3 hours, we're going to know who wins the game. It's wins and losses. It's not a tournament. It's a win and loss situation, just like in a baseball game.
So 3 hours, you said 50-minute period. So there's 3 50-minute periods. So you can catch a total of 9 fish for the game.
That's correct. You can score 3. You can score 9 fish. Right.
Got it.
Right. Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
And then through.
Right. And then across 5 anglers, you could potentially get 45 fish weighed in for one team.
Got it. Okay. And just for clarity for people tuning in, like, if you caught 3 3-pounders in the first round and say the next round you catch all 4s, you can't call out your
first period's locked. You got 90 points. 3 3-pounders is 90 points. You catch 3 4-pounders next period, you just scored 120 points.
Got it. Okay. And with that, I mean, so like with MLF in their periods, like when they have a break, they're not allowed to run. They're not allowed to do anything besides like rig tackle and stuff. Like they can't move the boat. Is that how this works as well for here? So
no, ours at the end of the period, they are going to be allowed to move. Wherever they want to do, whatever they want to do during that 10 minutes, that's their time to make adjustments. Talk to your coach, talk to the other players. Man, I didn't catch but 1 fish this period. You caught 3 fish. How'd you do that? Bailey, tell me, are you in 40 foot of water? Or are you in the reeds? Or did you live scope it? Did you catch them on a chatterbait? What did we do different? How can I readjust over this next 10 minutes? And I got to be ready to go. And, I got another 50 minutes that I got to put some points on the board.
So are they allowed, the anglers themselves and the team, are they talking to each other throughout the
period? They are. They are going to be allowed to talk to each other. At times, we're going to be able to listen to them. We will have a camera in every boat. There's been questions about, hey, what are you doing? Are you putting like an iPhone in their boat or an iPad or something like that? No, we really got some really nice cameras. We got some MP90 cameras, POVs that'll be statically. It'll be static in the boat. There's not a camera operator, but it'll be mounted in the back of the boat. We've got some really nice encoders with cellular binding. So it's going to be high res. It's going to be really, it's high tech. We got some high tech equipment. Each angler will have that in his boat. That'll be streamed out. It'll go back to our production facility in Austin, Texas. and there, all the feeds will be coming in, and there that'll be then taken and then distributed out. And what's really cool is you can go watch this on our website, mastercupfishing.com, to see each individual's feed, or you'll watch the show, and the show will actually be going out live streaming. It goes out through StreamStack, and StreamStack goes out to places like Roku and Hulu and Sports TV. It's a whole host. It's over 120 million viewers today that would have access to watch this on your TV through live streaming. And yeah, we're excited about that. So you can watch it on your phone if you're mobile, or you can set and watch it otherwise. You can decide to watch the show, or hey, if you got a favorite angler, I've got a few favorite anglers of my own, then I can tune in on my phone and watch or my computer and watch just my favorite angler. Like I don't even have to listen to announcers or anything else. I'll have a camera and a mic on that person so that we can hear what he's saying, what he's talking about. And I think that's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of wives and grandpas and grandmas and, significant others that are going to be, I think they're going to tune in and just watch their anglers, right? But for the rest of us, I want to watch them all. I want to see what's happening across the board. So I may have 6 or 8 computers around my desk watching it, because it's going to be really cool.
You have an angler for each tab window.
Yeah,
tab,
exactly. Yeah, just tab across, right? So it's going to be really nice. And the if the company we're working with is L2 Productions, top of the line company. They've been doing this since 2003. A lot of live streaming of TV sports since 2013. Really know their stuff. They're really, really good people to work with. They've actually even done some fishing in shows in the past. So we're really pleased with the people that we're working with, the people that's going to distribute this. Triple B Media, high quality people. Couldn't be happier with the people that we're working with on that side. They're not cheap, by the way, but they're good.
That means good product. It means good product. Right?
The product, the format, the content, the production, first rate all the way. We're going to treat these anglers like the professionals that they are. It's not going to be a second-rate show.
Heck yeah. I'll love to hear that. So with the live show, is there like a live chat or anything like that you guys have going with it? Like, can people type in like a little chat room while they're watching them on the site?
I haven't thought of that yet, but hey, that's a possibility, right? Maybe something that goes directly out to our announcers or something, so you can kind of see in the background what's happening. And that could be really interesting there, just to get that live chat going.
Could be a running tab, and then you just hire like maybe some of the players that aren't in it are moderators, so like they're talking back to the
well, we got some it's kind of cool. We really want to do some good things in the sport, right? So we're reaching out to a couple of schools right now, bringing in some interns that's going to actually be officials, so they actually get to see the pros at work and actually act as officials. They're also going to be involved in some of the production, including maybe some on-the-water camera action, where they actually get to test their abilities at giving us some on-the-water analysis. That could be a trick too, to have some of these interns help rotate through and learn a whole new part of the business, right? And that's what we want to do. We want to hook these guys with the professional anglers, that whole strategy side, and the business side behind this, right? Who are your sponsors? Who are you working with? Who are your production companies? These guys have never been exposed to how you actually produce a show, right? And so I think about 14 to 16 interns this year are going to get a treat of their life, really. And they're going to be paid to do this. It's, we're paying their expenses. We're paying them a salary. If we can get it worked out, they're actually going to get school credit. That's going to go back toward their work program. Yeah. So that's, we're working as hard as we can right now with CVCC to get that happening. The community college here. And we hope to be able to sign them up, let them get some school credit while they're doing this.
That's freaking cool.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that. Really good to help out these young anglers. Right. And
do something special. With that, I mean, like, so when it comes to awards for each game, like, is there going to be your stereotypical, award show, like, you have people going up on stage type of deal, or how's that?
No, it's at the end of a game, it's just like the end of a baseball game. We may have a little brief podcast or something at the end of it, but with some of the key players and some of that. But no, it's just like a baseball game. When it ends, it ends. It's a win or a loss. The regular seasons are very short this year, and that's really on part of making sure the players are, have sufficient time to play. So the season's only a little over a week long, or actually six days long for a regular season in one division and 6 days in another division. But it's all out. Once we start, it'll be across, it'll be games every day. We'll go across 3 different lakes. So they got to be able to adjust very quick across the lakes that we've got selected. And so that's going to make it, fun as well. It's not going to be, you're not going to be 5 or 6 days on the same body of water. You might see 2-3 games on a body of water, then you're off to the next body of water. And, you've got to be at the top of your game to make it happen.
Sounds like we have a special guest.
Yeah, my dogs are out here playing right now. They're playing tug rope.
For everyone that's listening in their car, no, there is not a dog in your car. You are okay. That was just a dog.
Exactly.
So I see I'm on the Master Cut Fishing website here, and I'll link this in YouTube and the MP3 show notes for everybody that wants to check it out, as well as social media that you guys should follow. I see 6 different teams. So for the first season, the inaugural season, how many games will each team be playing, and then how does championships work and all that jazz?
Yeah, so that's cool. Yeah, so each team will get to play 6 games over a course of 6 days. There are some days that they may get a break, but there's also double headers in there where we play, we kick off on a Monday morning. We do a Monday morning game. We do a Monday afternoon game. Then we have a Tuesday morning game, and then we're off to a new lake. And so of the 3 teams in the division, they'll all play each other, right? So it'll shuffle around. So South Carolina plays Georgia in the morning. South Carolina may play North Carolina in the afternoon. Then South Carolina's off to their lake, and then Georgia and North Carolina will finish up on Tuesday morning. They'll be off to then the South Carolina lake, and then the next morning we'll reface off. Georgia get a chance to play South Carolina again, or get that right. Georgia will play North Carolina again on like a Wednesday morning. And then the South Carolina team gets to play in the afternoon, and so it's going to be a lot of fun. If the home team will actually play both days, so they'll get 1 day on the lake, then the next day on the lake. We're inviting everybody to come out. We're going to set up a small expo. It's not going to be fancy, right? It's going to be maybe some food vendors. Come on out, tailgate with us. We'll have some big screens set up. You'll get to see the announcers. You'll get to actually pull for your fans. You'll see us. You'll get to see your coaches out there coaching, and you'll get to sit there and watch it live as it happens on the big screen. And we'll have, each of the anglers up on the screen as well, individual screens for that. That's the plan. And so you'll get to come out and just have some fun with us. I think it'll be a lot of fun at the expos. Whoever has the most wins at the end of the week, they get to advance to the national championship. So we'll play one regular season division. A couple of weeks later, we'll play another regular season division down in Alabama. And the regular season winners or the division winners of each one of those will then head to Lake Hartwell, and we'll do a national championship, best of 7 games on Lake Hartwell to see who is the national champion out of our very first year. Yeah, so it's really cool, really cool. There are performance bonuses given out based on how well you perform. That's paid out to the owners, and then the owners are taking that money and dispersing it out to the players. Some players may be paid a little bit higher than other players based on, they may be a franchise player and another guy may not be quite to that level yet, but it's up to the owner. Some owners are splitting it evenly. That's not for me to say. This is just like George Steinbrenner hiring for the Yankees, right? They went out, they've recruited the best baseball players they can possibly recruit. It's up to them to pay the salaries. It's up to them to pay the performance bonuses. But there's some other really cool things that we're doing for anglers that I'm not able to talk about now, but these anglers are going to be treated really, really well. And that was my whole goal all along. At the end of this season, each of these anglers are going to be really glad that they played for Master Cup Fishing. I promise you, we've got big things in store for the anglers.
That's freaking cool. That's that'll be pretty interesting to see how that dynamic works with players and coaches and owners and all that jazz. And that's a cool hierarchy that I am excited to see that being further explained as we go on through here, but also as as Master Cup Fishing grows in popularity and people can understand how this stuff works. But there's also a cool dynamic though you have going where from a fan interaction standpoint. Can you talk about that?
You're talking about the gaming. Yeah. So we're working. Oh my God, we're in a sprint right now to get that set up and going. We've hit some bumps in the road. That's one of the most difficult things we've ever tried to set up is the gaming. It's a very, very dynamic business with a lot of moving pieces. There's so many different rules across every state, across Canada, right? We're trying to set up in as many states as we possibly can to get all of that lined up, approval. You got to get banking commission. You got to have the money to fund, to make sure we can back everything. We got to make sure we know exactly when you're gaming, where you're at. So there has to be geofencing that pings your phone so that we know that if you're in this state, there are certain maybe taxes that we have to pay. If you're in another state, maybe we don't have to pay those taxes. So there's companies that do that. And we've teamed with the best companies across the gaming industry to actually put our platform together. Again, very expensive to do. But we hope to be rolling out the football platform of this company. It's called Elite Sports 24/7. We're hoping to roll it out within the next 3 to 5 weeks. And then within the next week or two after that, we'll have the fishing platform. At that time, I hope to get back on your show. We'll go through that demo. We'll put it up on the screen, and I'll let you lay a bet. I'll pay you to, maybe to go in, register, and place one of our first bets out there, against this. So what's cool is it's really not a bet. What it is, you're actually playing fantasy gaming, and so with that, it has to be a skilled sport. You're actually like you're entering a tournament. You're actually picking your players, whether they're going to perform well or not well on various performance factors. And I'd love to be able to release all that, but we got the lawyers working on exactly what we're allowed to say there, exactly how this whole scoring is set up, because we're not sports betting. We are playing daily fantasy gaming. And so, but you will be able to place a wager, put it out there. For instance, I might put out $5 on my team and how my team performs. If 4 of my 5 players perform to a certain level, then I'm going to make money. If only 2 of the 5 don't do well, then of course the house wins. But what's cool about this is for a very small amount of money, you become very tied to your players, right? And the level of excitement, right? The amount of adrenaline that this brings to the game is very exciting. So if you think about, I'm going to go out and I'm going to go to a movie and I'm going to spend, $20 on a movie. And if you can get in for $20 and buy some popcorn and a Coke, you're kind of lucky. And that's to enjoy the movie. Well, here for $5, you got a shot at winning some money, and your level of entertainment for the next 3 hours just went through the roof. So it's an entertainment factor. I think it's going to make it a lot of fun to really watch this, check your skill, see if your skills really do pay off. You're going to be able to look and see, okay, what's the weather like? Are they going to be running current down my favorite Tennessee River chain today? Are my anglers going to catch them? Is this angler going to catch big fish, or is he going to go for numbers? You got to know which angler you're selecting, right? Is he, and all that is going to play in the factor of this fantasy score. And based on that fantasy score, you got to say, okay, will he beat his fantasy score, or will he underperform on his fantasy score? And it's going to make it a lot of fun. You're either going to be sitting there pulling hard for him to win, or you're going to be pulling fully against him, right? Yeah. I hope he don't catch a fish. I hope he loses that one. Oh my God, he's hung a big one. Please get off.
Yeah, so, break off.
please break off. Hey, yeah, he got off. It shook off. So
yeah.
I think that's going to bring a level of excitement to our fans that's never been in the sport of bass fishing. So I'm looking forward to that. I hope we can make all of that come together and work and make that really enjoyable for the fans.
I'm really excited especially to dive into that, and we are for sure getting the show back when that's ready to go.
Okay,
that'll be a knockout.
Yeah, that would be a great show to go in, and we'll sign you up, and hopefully where you're located there, we'll be allowed to play. If not, we'll simulate it.
Is New York allowed to? I don't even know.
New York is like one of the high. I think they're allowed to play, but they're like one of the highest tax states out there. It almost makes it impossible to win any money for you or for us. So it's like, I don't know. We'll have to check it out and see.
Sounds like my salary. I don't get to keep much of it.
Yeah. Well, that's, there's other states that you can or can't play in. Right now, I think we're going to have about 25, maybe 26 states that you're going to be allowed to play in. And then we're going to grow that, right? As we get better and we figure out how to, overcome the taxes in New York and make it worth our time, we'll do that as well. Honestly, I don't even know which states are taxed high and which ones aren't. I just know that there's various states that have really strict license requirements and about 25 states have no license requirement that we can go to today and play. And that's probably where we'll start. We'll probably start in all of those states and then really ramp this up over the next year or so.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
might as well get that start and let people start gambling away while the
well, gaming. They're not gambling. Gambling is means that you have no skill in it. It's just a roll of dice, not ours. Ours is skill based, right? Okay. You're going to really be able to look at and use your skill. I mean, there's a lot of skill that goes into fishing. Well, there's a lot of skill that can go into this gaming as well. You really got to evaluate it and take all the factors from the angler to the weather to the water to the, how does this angler even perform on this type of water, right? So there's a lot of correlations there that I think will make it really interesting to see who's successful at picking the right anglers.
So here's a question for you that might be putting you on the spot a little bit, but are anglers allowed to bet?
No.
What if they're not in Master Cup fishing? What if they're
for this year we're not allowing it at all. In the way that a lot of other sports, and don't quote me on this because it's really fuzzy in a lot of places, but in some of the other places they're allowed to bet if they're not playing in the game. But I don't want to take any risk, any chance. We're just going to say, hey, we got 30 anglers this year. You're not going to play.
So
you're not going to game.
30, though. Like, say you're someone on the elites or BPT and you're not in Master Cup fishing, you're allowed to bet.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, please come on out, check your skills out, see how good you can. How good are you at picking your anglers?
We might have to talk here because this could make for some pretty cool, like almost little live streams where we're like directing people to a website and have some pros on and be like,
I hear you.
I'll take $100 and make them.
I hear you and Andrew every show analyzing every little thing about this. And I'm thinking these boys will be hot at this gaming, right? And then, then there'll be people like me that scored like 50% on their fantasy fishing this year. And this, boy, I better stay away. I'm not going to be very good at this.
Oh, that's cool. So I see 6 different teams here. Are all the rosters complete?
No, they're not actually. We're still working on one team right now. It's still up in the air. Some of the anglers are still a little bit. So not all the teams are full yet. We still have some contract negotiations, some conversations going on between various anglers.
Right.
We've got some really good players though. The players are really good, and I know I teased you earlier when I sent you a text and I said, I'll let you pick or let you, we'll talk about 6 of them tonight, right? That's going to open up. So it's, I think that, we'll start with the South Carolina team.
Okay.
And,
what team would that be?
Yeah. So representing South Carolina will be the Carolina Rockets.
Got it.
Carolina Rockets are based out of Columbia, South Carolina. they are represented. They're representing Abu Garcia. That's who their sponsor is. Abu has really stepped up, got behind us early on, put this team together, and swore that they were going to bring home back to their home base, right? Pure Fishing's home base is Columbia, South Carolina. They said, we will put together a team that nobody can beat, and we're bringing home the very first trophy back to Columbia, South Carolina. And so it's been a lot of fun working with Mark Kempter, Brad Rutherford there. Lots of fun working with those guys. As we've taken a lot of, had a lot of meetings with those guys, and really good guys to work with. I think they want to be out front. They're out front in the pioneer of fishing and a lot of things, and I'm really excited that they're out there supporting this, giving us a chance to really succeed.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Are you able to go through who the anglers are?
Yes, I can announce. I've got confirmation, at least verbal confirmation, on 4 of the anglers. Let me call them up right here, just so I don't misspeak.
The suspense.
So for the Carolina Rockets, coming out of his home of North Carolina, and you got to understand, we're going to a North Carolina lake, right? So going to a North Carolina lake, you only figure that we need to pick somebody who's got a great reputation there, won a ton of tournaments there, is going to help carry his team there, but can still go back to South Carolina lakes and do a great job in South Carolina and Georgia. And that would be Hank Cherry, 2-time Classic winner, right? Start the hot topic right there, or start a hot lineup up. Hank's performed across North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. Over the last several years, he's shown that he is a master on those lakes. So it just made sense that the Carolina Rockets and Abu would pick Hank Cherry. One of his teammates that works closely with Hank a lot, that's been also a phenom across North Carolina, especially here. I compete against him since I can remember, since he was knee high, and that's Shane LaHue.
He's still knee high.
Yeah, he's still knee high. He's the baby shark, right? Will forever be the baby shark. But yeah, so Shane LaHue is our second angler. He'll be teamed with Hank Cherry. So 2 of our top Bassmaster guys, right?
Yeah.
Jumping down the list, we've got Hunter Shryock. Hunter has shown that, really good skill, especially Lake Murray, right? In those South Carolina lakes, he's a dominant force there. Yeah. He's got a long career. So Hunter has actually joined that team. And I think that's going to make for, a really great teammate there. I can really see Hank and Shane and Hunter working together. And then we got a Red Crest winner. That's going to be our 4th person we're going to announce tonight. And I'm going to leave the 5th one open. It's a little bit of a TBD on it. But our 4th angler that I can announce for the Carolina Rockets representing South Carolina is Bobby Lane. Red Crest winner Bobby Lane is going to actually be there. So we got Bobby, Hank, Shane, and Hunter that are coming to represent Columbia, South Carolina on the Carolina Rockets. And yeah, when I seen that team, I was like, woo, that is a hot team, right? That is going to be a great team. Those boys are, they are hard to beat in the Carolinas. That's a tough team to beat. Yeah, we've got some other teams though that when the other owners seen that, heard those rumors, they went out and I think they're gonna compete. They put together their own set of guys that are. It's gonna be a shootout. It's gonna be a war that's gonna go on with these guys. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
That's gonna be a cool team dynamic just from there. I'm intrigued to hear the rest of them, but just those 4 alone, that'll make for some really good conversation, especially with the anglers working together in a sense, but also just kind of seeing the versatility where you have, Hank's been known to do just about everything. Shane just being an absolute hammer right now, having a great season on the Elite Series.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Knowing how to catch small, like all over the place, but especially when you're talking about the Carolinas. And then you got Hunter and Bobby that it's like, hey, boys, just you guys go up and flip just about damn near anything you could find.
Exactly right. Yeah, and so the lakes that we're fishing there across the Carolinas, and all. I mean, I think these guys fit really well, right? They can adjust to just about any situation. They're going to be starting off November 6th on one of our lakes here near Charlotte, North Carolina. And, yeah, I think that's going to be a really interesting team, right? I mean, God, Hanks, I've fished against Hanks so many times on these North Carolina lakes. And I'm telling you, when you put Hank and Shane out there and they're analyzing them, man, that is, you don't go anywhere in the Carolinas when you're competing against those guys without like knowing that you better bring top game. And so that's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah, that would be scary, especially any team coming into that. But I'm digging the team names right here. I'm looking at the website, and we got, obviously, you listed off the Carolina Rockets.
Yeah.
Charlotte Spotted Dogs.
Yeah, that fits well. We got a lot of spotted bass here, right? We call them the spotted dogs here.
Yeah.
They got that name because they were considered a nuisance to start with, but now they're considered like, hey, they're one of the greatest things we ever had. So we have a respect for the spotted dogs here around the Charlotte area. I'm
surprised the Georgia team didn't take some more take that personal when you guys took the old Bulldog logo and dogs away from them.
Yep, that's an interesting name that we've got. It may still change in Georgia, but Georgia's name is still a little bit fluid right now. So I wouldn't say right now that Georgia's team is locked in 100% on their name. They're working on it. They want to make sure they have a name that fits their anglers, and they got the anglers too. So
I'm excited to hear the full list here once they're all confirmed, but my mind's running wild seeing the Alabama River Rattlers and the Tennessee River Ghosts and Spirit Lake Lab Rats. I can only imagine what that one might be and what might be working behind the scenes.
So the Spirit Lake Lab Rats, that's a really cool name. And you go, God, where in the world could you come up with a name like Spirit Lake Lab Rats? Well, Spirit Lake is actually owned by Berkeley. Berkeley owns the Spirit Lake Lab Rats. The Berkeley Lab is actually located in Spirit Lake, Iowa. So hence the name Spirit Lake. They're playing out of Alabama. I mean, they're going to be on the Tennessee River. More than likely, that's if everything works out, we're going to have their team will be representing the state, one of the states of Alabama, one of the big lakes there, one of the big areas. And God, they're stacked. Right. They've put together a list as well. And, I sent out a text to you earlier and I said, I can't give away all the names yet on the Spirit Lake team. It's looking really good as well, but we're going to let you pick two of those names, and I'm going to let you be the one to decide who the fans get to hit or hear from the Spirit Lake Lab Rats. And I should say the Lab Rats. Why the Lab Rats? Because Berkeley wanted representation of all the guys up north that are in their labs and that go in every day to build us a better product, to make sure that they put the best stuff on the market. So that's where they got their team. They designated that name after their Spirit Lake guys up north. And so I thought that was really cool. It's a really unique name, especially when you think, hey, I'm going to be on a Tennessee River in Alabama. How in the world do I get Spirit Lake Lab Rats? Well, now you know the story. You got the story behind that. And, when Mark Kempter shared that, I was like, man, I have a lot of respect for that team now. I can
character.
I can be that. And then when you see the players, Lab Rats actually do fit some of these players, right? It's pretty cool. So yeah, that's going to be really nice.
That's freaking awesome. Yeah, and with that, I mean, maybe that's a future location where you host some games is up there in Spirit Lake.
That is actually what we've talked about, is that as we expand this, what they want to do is they want to keep a team in Alabama. Their whole goal is to keep whatever area they have there and their team established there, but maybe move the name to Spirit Lake. And we actually do a tournament up on Spirit Lake someday.
Well, I can tell you there's no shortage of
an actual team.
There's no shortage of dumb fish up in Spirit Lake.
Yeah, I could, that would be an awesome tournament to watch them go. That'd be an exciting 50 minutes to watch them play on Spirit Lake, right? So, that's our goal. Someday we'll have a team up there. We got a lot of teams, a lot of people in the industry from the Minnesota area. the Great Lakes areas up there. You know, Erie's real close right in there, Sandusky Bay. I could really see a great team representing Sandusky, playing Spirit Lake, maybe going over there and fishing somewhere in Michigan up there near, Kalamazoo or something like that, right? So that'd be kind of cool.
There's a pretty hefty name I know that's in Kalamazoo.
Yeah. I would like to see a team up there like that someday. That would be awesome.
That's freaking cool. Well, man, as I will want to keep talking about this, but I know we're going to hold off for the coming show when you have more things you're allowed to spill the beans.
Absolutely.
But on today's preliminary show, is there anything more that we're missing that we should talk about format-wise, schedule-wise, or anything else?
Well, I mean, you get to reveal 2 names if you want to reveal them from our lab rats.
Should I pull up that?
You've got that text. That's 5 doggone hammers on that team. I'm sitting here looking at these 5 guys, and we're going to let you release 2 of those 5 today.
It's a hard 2 to.
Like everybody across Alabama right now, and down across the South. This is going to be a strong representation of our Southeastern team, right? Who in the world of those 5 guys do you want to reveal on your show?
You have everything, every technique across the board covered here from
there
the
is
strength.
No doubt.
What I'll do is let me just say for the folks tuning in, there is no shortage of power on this team. But what I'll do is, because the fans love them, so I'm going to keep it spicy. The first 2, I'll keep them spicy for them. Okay. That way they're super excited for the next episode.
This is cool. This is an exclusive right here, an exclusive going out.
So I'll pick the first one. He's one of my favorite people on planet Earth, John Cox.
Wow. Yep.
Mr. John Cox is coming on the lab rat team. He's definitely a lab rat.
He is a lab rat, right? He is the lab rat of lab rats. I can't think of anybody better to have on a team than John Cox. Man, the way he dissects water, the way he just goes and he catches them, and I mean, you can't put him on a body of water that he can't catch fish on. And you put him on an Alabama river system or lake, John's going to bring him to the scales, right? He's going to be contributing. He's a great choice by the lab rats.
I mean, this team has every section, style, deep, shallow, a part of a lake covered from across the spectrum, but.
And all are popular, right? It's dying not to say who the 5 are. I'm dying not to say. I told the lab rats I'd only let 2 out tonight, and then we'll let the suspense build. Maybe next week I'll pop 3 more out.
Well, leading with that, I'll go just in the spirit of a lab rat here, and in this theme. Old Matty Robertson.
Matt Robertson. When you look and you think of lab rats, you got to think Matt Robertson.
I'm so, not to let this out of the bag, but there's a guy or 2 on this team that I don't know is going to be able to fish efficiently because they're going to be laughing too dang much with the mics in their ears from the guys that got on the team.
I agree. You know, we got a rule that you're going to get 1 warning on, you say something on the camera, it's not appropriate, right? We're going to give you a warning. And then after that, it's going to be 1 minute penalty for inappropriate, I sure hope Matt gets to fish. That's all I can say. It'll be bleep, bleep, bleep. That's a minute. So,
yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, Matt's a lot of fun. He's going to bring a lot of fun. You team him up, put him on the same team as John Cox. Man, the conversation going back and forth there, that's, oh, man, that's must-see TV right there. No doubt.
I'm just looking at the rest of the team, and I can see there's one that would be in that mix, and there's one that'll be just shaking his head. At the top, I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
That's right. That's right. And these are the hottest guys out there, right? I mean, they are just so hot right now. That's so much. I just love to be able. Yeah, I could only release 2. That's all I'm allowed to let go. Now you're going to be getting phone calls from everybody, They're all going to be calling and saying, hey, you've seen the list. But No, we have to keep it secret from here, for at least another week. Then we might let you, maybe next podcast slip a couple of those more out to the public.
I like it. I like the sounds of it. Heck yeah. Well, Jeff, dude, this thing sounds super exciting. I'm really looking forward to November 6th for the first one. Looking forward to the next show when we can release some more names and show off more of the betting stuff for folks.
Yep.
This is freaking cool. And I think it's really what the fishing industry has needed for a long time. And it's kind of a breath of, extreme competitiveness, but also a sense of, MLF and Bass have been this super ultra serious tournament trails and kind of mimic same styles, where this is really something new. But also I think while the anglers might take it serious, because obviously there's going to be big money involved, that it's also going to be, I feel like these guys are going to have a lot of fun. Like it's almost going to be like taking back to the local roots where you and your buddy shooting the shit, at a local derb or niter, that sort of thing.
Yeah. I just talked to a guy the other day that's he's committed now, and he told me, he said, "Man, this is going to be so much fun for me as an angler." He said, I think the pressure relief, fishing as a team. I think there's going to be a lot of pressure because you're under this 3 hours and the window, right? And these guys are so freaking competitive. Every one of these guys are ultra competitive. Yeah. But I think it's going to be a ton of fun talking to your buddies, being able to communicate with them. Hey, you're not catching them over there, Matt. What the heck's going on? Matt Robertson, let's go. Dude, you got to get that big swim bait out and go down to a smaller swim bait, right? But but that's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun listening to these guys go back and forth and put the strategies together. And I think, we're going to get to hear some things as fans that just take us to a whole new level for me. As a fanatic, I can't wait to hear it. But just as somebody that loves the sport too, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's something that my fiance is going to be able to tune in and actually watch and enjoy. And, all the non-fanatics are going to be able to join in and watch this as well. Get behind their team, right? They're going to pull for their Alabama team. They're going to pull for their Georgia team. It's that fan like, I don't know what you call it. Is it a cult or that following that that affiliation with the team, I think is going to be really a lot of fun. And we're not going head to head, by the way, against Bass or MLF. I by no means do we want to do that. We honor the fact that Bass and MLF have done what they've done. Just having built this out, I see just how much work those guys have really done, right? And so our goal is never to go against Bass or MLF. We just want to take some of the off season, a little bit of the off season, give the anglers an opportunity to come, have a lot of fun, do some fun things, and have another opportunity to increase their brand, their value, right, and make a little extra cash on the side as well. But yeah, I don't want to in any way hurt Bass or MLF. That's not where I'm at. My son fishes on BASS. I love the fact that he's an elite angler, and completely love watching their shows as well. So this is just something new for the off season.
For sure. Yeah. Heck yeah. Well, Jeff, what I'm going to do is for folks tuning in, I'm going to put the website and like the social media and all that jazz down below for folks that are listening or on YouTube. That way they can access it, follow along, follow the page, encourage them to follow the social media. But man, it's always a pleasure. One, getting you on here, but two, hearing about this. This is absolutely awesome. I know we'll be talking more, and I'll have to fill you in on how many times my phone starts ringing after this.
Yes, you will. Don't let that out. Yeah, that's like a top secret document, right? That's worse than a Trump document right there for me. So so don't let that out.
For some betting dollars now.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's good. And Bailey, I really appreciate you doing what you've done for me over the years with our business, and then really having me on here tonight. All the things you've done for me is greatly appreciated. Really do.
Always, man. And I will be remiss if I didn't tell people to go over to Queen Tackle. I'll leave that link down there too, and go check out the new underspin you guys came out with. Me and Ryan Hanks from over at Cast have been talking about that little sucker, and he's raving about that thing over on Lanier.
Yeah, they've been crushing big ones on Lanier on that. I get the pictures and I'm just so jealous. I'm sitting at the house working and I get a ping on my phone. And it's like, hey, check out what my buddy just caught on your underspin. And I'm like, oh, you're killing me. You're killing me right now. So I'm hoping to set up a trip down there with Ryan. Ryan's telling me he's going to hook me up coming about another couple of months or something. And I'm like, yeah, right in the middle of Master Cup. But maybe I can squeeze it in. I really want to get down there to Lanier and boys catch some giant spotted bass. And I want to get involved in that too.
Yeah, for sure. Well, dude, appreciate it as always. I will. I'm not going to do a little outro here. We're going to carry it out right now. But folks, appreciate y'all for always tuning in. And we'll see you guys on Monday.
See ya.